Most of us know each other, but I'm Jeff Earhart. I work on the comprehensive plan and was the Town of Morse person in charge of the mining impact committee, and I led the joint mining impact committee. So that's me.
Howard Peters, I'm the chairman of the Town of Morse.
Pete Russo, I'm the county board chair.
Don VTech, I'm just, I'm the
Citizen.
citizen.
He's a comprehensive planning committee member.
Yeah, that,
Chuck Bodka, Comprehensive Planning Commission member.
Joel?
Joe Bates, Moxon Trail Telegraph LLC, Bad River Tribal member also.
Oh, good.
Nick Vanderpide, journalist, activist. We spent a winter 2 years ago up on the ridge fighting G10.
Was it the heritage camp or separate?
Yeah, it was a help camp. We were under the sponsorship of several tribes. And we're still here.
So you went to harvest camp then?
Yeah, we lived up there for the whole winter.
Yeah, whole winter, yeah. Is there anyone up there now, or
No, but we're planning on having another sugar bush up there.
sugar bush? Yeah.
You have some very desirable maple trees. We'd like to use them.
Are they marked, are there marks on them that you guys have left on?
Oh, we had trees tapped over by Steve Feeney's land on Penokees. And then we made sugar over at Russell Fox. But there's a lot of very beautiful maples that we'd like to
I see
see.
at the table over there.
If that would be something you would consider.
Courtney?
I am Courtney Bott, and I am an employee of Global Minerals who represents and works on behalf of LaPointe.
Okay, and I'm Dave Meineke, and I'm the vice president of LaPointe Iron Company. And I'm president of Global Minerals Engineering, the same company that Courtney works with. And we talked a bit earlier here, just kind of review that I've been working on the Gogebic iron here since about the year 2000. Courtney, what did you say, 2000?
5 or 6.
5 or 6 in there. And that with Gogebic, the LaPointe Iron Company part, that we represent about 1/3 of the ownership of the iron resource here, the 21 miles between Mineral Lake and Upson, the town of Upson. And so I guess whatever, we're here to answer questions about what we're doing, what has happened. GTAC is not here anymore. I mean, they're not, the project has been ended. They still have some obligations to plug holes here, which they're going to be doing. But they are not interested in this project anymore. They ended their efforts. And they let the Iron County lease go. They let our options go. I mean, they haven't renewed them. They expired in September. So I guess we're here to answer any questions that we can fill
What was
in
their
on what we're
reason?
doing.
What was their reason for dropping the project?
Well, there were several, and I guess, we heard them, some we read in the paper, we heard about wetlands, because there are a lot of wetlands here, and there's a good reason for that. I think it's probably all that white stuff sitting out there. That's part of the reason, and perhaps, the iron market was shrinking, the prices in that, and they become a solution, I'm not sure. When iron ore was $200 a ton a few years ago, and that there was a lot of companies looking at iron ore that were not traditional iron ore, and of course the Klein Group was, really a coal company and still are, and not iron ore. So I think maybe for those reasons that they decided to discontinue, and it's a huge investment. That they're investing in more coal.
Did they share their findings with anybody?
We have all the records. We have all the records, all the drill cores, all the samples. Between us and RGGS, the other landowner.
You know, to add to this a little bit now, I think that there was a thing about those wetlands you were just talking about, and that are on top of here. And I brought this up a while back, and I guess it was Bill Williams I was talking to. And Bill said, well, there's no problem with that. He said, we found suitable replacements and mitigation for the wetlands, somewhere by Eau Claire.
Oh,
Now listen,
I thought it was Milwaukee.
no, he said Eau Claire. But the bottom line is, you gotta mitigate within the county it's in. And there's no other place in Ashland County,
okay, that's the law then.
that's the law.
Yeah.
Now, not unless Walker changes it,
Mhm.
which, who knows, with that legislation down there. I mean, the state of Wisconsin flat outright left a bad taste in their mouth up there. And I'm speaking for the county. And they really did. And like I said, I talked to you just now about the 6 LLCs, and it goes on and on. And besides that, G-Tech didn't leave a good taste in anybody's mouth either when they left. In fact, they left all, I think Iron County, they owe Iron County money still on different projects or whatever, they lease some of them, and I don't know what the deal was, but that's beside the point. The bottom line in this is, to be honest with you, in order to mine that off up there, try to mine it, without getting tangled up with a DNR or the people who live up here, basically. That's a hard way to go.
You have to sit over here.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And I feel that the reason we stuck the ordinances in place was to protect the county and the townships. Those ordinances are good. The ordinance we passed is the same ordinance in the town of Morse. It covers all the townships and villages. That ordinance does.
Yeah.
The county supersedes anything else when it comes to ordinances. So, I think that, sometime or another, you can give me a call, and I can bring you up to the county board also, and let you plead your case in front of the county board. But I just feel that after G-Tech left here, they just about ruined any alternative to mine that up there, because the way they went about it, it was just terrible.
They were thugs. They literally chased people through the woods with automatic weapons.
Well, the one thing to say, people that did support Kogevic taconite to start, the tide turned. You know, I mean, I came into this with an open mind. I was looking for economic development. When I was school superintendent, you and I talked.
Sure.
And I'm thinking, you know, boy, this would be a boon for Mellon. The more I learned about it, and then of course, dealing with Kogevic taconite, we had lies after lies after lies that were coming at us. You know, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Think about the only thing that they did, what they said they were going to do, is they bought, I'm on the Mellon Utilities, and they purchased a meter that we could put on the hydrants when we sold them fresh water for their core sample. They did that, and we actually, that's the only thing that we got out of this whole thing, other than selling them some water. You know, but other than that, I mean, so you've got a lot to clean up, Dave, so to speak.
We are, as the mineral owners, and we're not the development company. We had an option, you know, with the Klein Group, the GTAC they call it. It's the Klein Group out of Florida. So, I mean, that the option agreement had certain requirements. You know, we learned from that also, the next time we do this, our agreement's gonna be even, have more requirements. But, you learn from experience, of course. You know, we're gonna probably be, we're not an iron company, and so we're probably gonna be more selective in all these things. The other thing, you mentioned the ordinances, that our view here is that the local agreement, needs to be negotiated, and that probably needs to be negotiated first. You know, right off the bat with a new developer, to see, so you can see that you're gonna get what you need to get, and then likewise. We have the resource, we don't have the $2 to $4 billion it takes to develop it. We like to think the resource is as important as the $2 to $4 billion, but, and we are looking for developers. It's a slow process right now because of the whole commodities and iron ore industry the way it is, but, we expect that we will come up with another developer eventually. But again, our view is that they're gonna have certain requirements they're gonna have to fulfill, including the local agreement.
Well, those ordinances will stay in place.
I think that those, if I'm not mistaken though, that 295 makes that local agreement supersede local ordinances. And I think that's, if it's negotiated in good faith by the Town of Morse and Ashland County.
Yeah, but if you gotta negotiate it, I mean,
Well, I
if we
understand
say no.
Well, one of the things I recall asking Bill Williams, are you interested in negotiating? He said, I will if you have something I want.
Oh.
That was his answer to
Yep.
negotiations.
Jeff, Bill Williams called me after we passed that ordinance. My friend over here, well, that's another story. But after we passed that ordinance, it was the day after, Bill Williams called me up. And he said to me, he said, if you think for 1 minute that I'm gonna give Ashland County $100,000 to get a permit to mine in Ashland County, you're sadly mistaken. I said, well, Bill, the bottom line is you cough up the money or you're not gonna get a permit to mine. And I didn't even know if he would have got a permit anyway, but I'm just saying, he wasn't gonna spend any more money.
Well, we have a couple different views there. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with them, of course. We have experience at doing this, including Minnesota, including other parts of the world, that, we really believe that local agreement is important, that it is you. I mean, that local agreement is all of you here. And that's, you gotta work with the community. This is a work together job, not, them and us, And so everybody's gotta be happy, including the taxation you talked about. And I guess, our view of $100,000, I mean, that's pretty much a drop in the bucket on a $2 to $4 billion project. So you gotta really work together and get it done right, and that's, that's what our view is going forward here, even with a new developer.
Well, one thing I can say is I think that a lot of the opinions got really hardened in this whole process. I mean, I don't think that you're ever gonna get the tribes to go along with this. That was one of the first questions I asked them. Have you ever, what's the guy who's the president of RBGS?
Adams?
He was the one that spoke up at the Great Lakes Visitor Center
Okay, of the Klein Group.
of GTEC. He would have been the president.
Matt Fifield.
Oh, Matt Fifield.
Matt Fifield.
Yeah, he's not there anymore, but, yeah.
But I mean, the first thing he says is, he was asked the question, are you gonna change or try to change the mining law? No, we're not gonna do anything to that mining law. We're gonna operate within that mining law. Well, then we hear about this dark money, $700,000 that went to the governor's campaign coffers or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's balking at $100,000 for Ashland County.
That's right.
You know?
We don't do things that way.
Well, like I say, I don't know if you'll ever get the tribe to go along with this, nor are the Odaville Farm gonna go along with it. I mean,
Okay, but we're willing to work with the tribe, I've had communication, on the phone with Robert Blanchard, the new chair, and, we're hoping to be meeting, with the tribe, here shortly, probably in March, hopefully. And, we may never totally agree on everything, but we are willing to talk and to work together. That's our view. And that, again, this is a community project. It isn't, them and us, and so.
I'd like to interrupt a little bit here. I think you got way longer way to go than that too, because what's happened here is there's been a breakdown on communication and other things too.
Trust.
And trust, that's a big one.
Trust is a big deal.
Yeah,
Yep.
and here's the thing. When you got a governor, and I think he's gonna run again, sounds like, so we gotta put up with another 4 years. But besides that point, you got a governor who, they pass legislations at 2:30 in the morning down there in Madison. I had a friend of mine call me from Madison, this happened about maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Called me up and he says, Pete, are you aware what's happening down here? I said, what? Well, he said, the Counties Association, they're trying to shove a bill through to take the police powers away from the counties. I said, you gotta be kidding me. He said, no, I'm not.
What I can't figure out is why does the county plow the state roads?
Because the state hires the county to plow.
What? Why don't you tell them no?
You can.
Sure you can.
I think there's a written agreement or something in the whole deal. But let me get back to this deal here. So anyway,
I'd stop.
we ended up with, when it was all said and done, I guess, I called up the head of the Counties Association down there, who we give, I think, $26,000 or $36,000 to represent us, right? Not to represent the mining company, but you represent the county and where it's in. So I got on the phone, I called up the head of the County Association, I said, listen, if this bill goes through, you'll never get another penny out of Ashland County. I won't sign the check, and I can guarantee it. And I said, furthermore, I'll call every county board chair in the state of Wisconsin and tell them what you're doing. Now, see, this is how crooked this whole damn thing is, or was. They were trying to take powers away from the county and the townships in any way, no matter what it was, they were gonna mine, and they didn't care. And whatever it took to mine, they didn't care. I'm serious. And if you get another person in here, who knows? Maybe he's gonna be better than GTIC, maybe he's gonna be the same way. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know one thing, we went through one hell of a mess up here.
Can you put into your agreement anything that'll help us out on our end? To where before you sign your mineral rights to them,
Sure.
that they'll have to work with us?
Sure, I'm planning on doing that.
You
Like
put
I
that
said,
in
we
writing?
learned here too.
You'll
You
put
know?
that in writing?
Yes, yes, that's right. And, and we're gonna qualify our next developer much better than we did the last time. So that's part of our process. We all learn. And we're gonna have certain requirements too. And I understand what you're saying. I mean, we were not, happy with, some of the actions they were doing.
Well, it was, to be honest, it was almost criminal. Think about it. Here comes, what was the name of that security firm?
Out of Arkansas.
Out of Canada or?
Arkansas.
Yeah, whatever. Here they come in,
Arizona.
Arizona, wherever they're from.
Yes, you're
Anyway,
right.
they come in, right? Never registered
Yeah.
as a group that,
To operate in our state.
Yeah, in the state. Then the governor turns around, and actually, it was a felony, is what it was. The governor turned around and wiped the whole damn thing off, and they could operate in the state of Wisconsin without a permit.
Yeah,
Now,
right.
wait a minute, does that show us here what, in order to mine this place up here, what they're gonna do? They're gonna step on us, they're gonna do what they wanna do? Maybe not you, but the people you hire.
Yeah.
And-
Well, yeah, I mean, that was totally uncalled for.
Well, it was. I mean, what's gone on up here, it shouldn't go on anywhere.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, they didn't need that security force out there.
No, he didn't. They were running around with
I
a
mean,
damn
this-
50 caliber machine gun mounted in the back of a Jeep. Christ, when I was in Vietnam, they didn't even have that.
Right.
But I mean, seriously, I mean,
Let's get back to.
go ahead, Jeff.
It's my understanding that the core samples you're coordinating with the USGS in regards to, they're looking at these core samples now? Is the
We are.
DNR involved in this at all?
Yes,